Hi, good day to all of you. In this video, we're going to explore how to add integers. All right. First of all, let's try to review. Let's try to review, for example, the real number line or the number line itself. So that is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, -1, -2, -3, and -4. All right. So how shall we add? So let's say, for example, the question is, what is -3 plus 2? So what you're going to do is you start from -3. You start from -3, and afterwards, I'm going to use this one. You put this one in the -3, and then you jump +2, meaning to the right. So 1, 2. So the answer there is -1. All right, because you're actually merely jumping 2. Okay, now, so let's have, for example, let's say I have -4 plus 3. So from -4, you put it here, and then you jump -4 plus 3, 1, 2, 3. You ended up with -1. Well, it's a coincidence that the answer is -1. But let's say, for example, -4 plus 7. Okay, -4 plus +7. So that's going to be from -4. You jump 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You ended up with +3. All right. Now, so let's say that I have, for example, -1 plus 3. So from -1, you have 1, 2, 3. There you go. Then that's going to be 3. Okay. Now, what about if, for example, you have 1 plus -4? I'm going to put the -4 like that. Okay. So, of course, what you're going to do, you start with the 1, you put the 1 there, plus -4. -4 meaning to say you go to the left 4 units. So from 1, then 1, 2, 3, 4. The answer is -3. Let's try to have one more example. Suppose you have 4 plus -2. All right. What do you think is the answer? I think for now there's some pattern. So 4 then plus -2 is 2 to the left. 1, 2. So the correct answer now is actually 2. Now, addition is just actually easy. From here, it is very inconvenient to draw all the time the number line. So basically, you just need to have a pattern of doing it. Okay, a pattern of doing it. So let's try to look at it. -3 plus 2, the answer is -1. Okay, so they have different sign, and it seems to be that you minus them. 3 minus 2 is 1, and you copy the sign of the bigger number because 3 is bigger than 2. -4 and 3. Okay, so it seems to be 4 minus 3 is 1. Then you copy the sign of the bigger number. 4 and 7. So 7 minus 4 is 3. And then the sign is positive because this is greater than this one. So you copy the sign of the 7. Now, -1 plus 3 is actually, oh, that is wrong. Oh, it should be 2. So -1 plus 3 is 2. So why? Because 3 minus 1 is 2. All right. 1 plus -4 is -3. So it seems to be subtraction. And then you only copy the sign of the bigger number. So 4 plus -2 is actually equal to 2. So therefore, what we're trying to say here is the rule is that if they have different sign, what do we need to do is to subtract them. And then you copy the sign of the number with the greater of the greater number. I will not use other term like absolute value this time. I'm not interested. I just want to say greater number. Okay. Now, so let's try to apply this one if they have different sign. So let's say you have -10 plus 7. As you can see, one is negative, one is positive. So what we're going to do is to subtract them. 10 minus 7 is 3. And then you copy the sign of the 10 because that is bigger, which is negative. That's the answer. So let's try to have one more example. So let's say that is 10 plus negative 7. Of course, what you're going to do is 10 plus negative 7. That is actually a like sign, so you minus them. That is actually 3. And then you copy the sign of the bigger one, which is actually positive. So I will not put a sign. No sign means positive. Okay, please don't forget about it. So let's say, for example, that you have 20 plus negative 10. Of course, the answer is positive 10. You know the reason? Because unlike sign, then you have 20 plus negative 10. Just simply minus them, 20 minus 10. That's the answer, and they copy the sign of the bigger number, which is actually positive 20. So it's actually easy. It's actually very easy to add integers. Now let's try to have, what about if there are three? There are three. So let's say, for example, that you have 10. I will just put small numbers plus negative 4. All right. So what you're going to do here is just to do it one by one, by twos. 10 plus negative 1 is actually positive 9 because 10 minus 1 is 9, right? The sign is positive because this is bigger than 1. And then plus negative 4. So 9 plus negative 4, this 2 is actually positive 5. Why? Because 9 minus 4 is actually 5. All right. Now, this one, let's write up. Let's say, for example, of negative 10 plus negative 8 plus 17. All right. So in this case, you can actually add this first. Oh, we haven't learned this one. But anyway, negative 10 plus negative 8, because they have the same sign, that is actually negative 18 plus 17. Now they have different sign, you minus them, which is actually 1. 18 minus 17 is 1. And then you copy the sign of 18 because it's bigger, which is actually negative 1. Now, what will it do if you are actually adding, for example, two numbers with the same sign? So, for example, negative 1 plus negative 3, we'll just simply add them and copy the common sign. So let's say, for example, negative 7 plus negative 10 plus negative 14. All right, well, just simply add them all. So 10 plus 14, 24 plus 7 is 31. So that's actually negative 31. This one is also true, for example, if you have negative 0.5 plus 1.5 negative. So even in decimal, this one is actually true. 1.5 plus 0.5 is 2.0. But since the sign is both negative, so that's going to be negative there. Now, so let's say, for example, I'm going to change this one. I'll make it negative 0.5. But this one, I'll just make it 1.5. That's positive 1.5. I think I don't like to put it in the bracket because I mean they're positive. Okay, so you have your negative 0.5 plus 1.5, they have different sign. So that is actually 1.0 when you subtract them. And this is going to be positive. I will not write the positive sign. Okay, so what am I trying to say? This one is applicable to sign numbers, not only with respect to integers, but also with the decimals and even to fractions, But I will go to the fractions later on. This is just important. Now, again, just to summarize before we proceed, so that if you have two numbers and they have the same sign, let's say negative 10 plus negative 20, I'll just put them in bracket because they're all negative. That's actually negative 30. What we're going to do is just simply add them and copy the same sign. If, for example, that's negative 10 plus 20, so what we're going to do is you just simply subtract them. 20 minus 10, that is 10, and copy the sign of 20 because that's the bigger one, which is positive. Now, if you're going to reverse it, for example, let's say 10 plus negative 20 there. So this is now equal to 10, and this is actually negative 10. All right, so that's it on how to add integers. Thank you very much and hope you enjoy the lesson. Oh, by the way, please, what do you call this one? Please, the exercises, the task is after, this is gonna be the task, okay? But I think I'm gonna give you this one after the subtraction. Okay, after the subtraction. I'm gonna discuss how to subtract integers in the next video. I'm gonna separate that because it's a little bit quite difficult compared to addition. And then after that one, this is gonna be the task. Okay, the task 2.2. So I think that's it for today. I mean, that's it for this video, not for today. Have a good day and goodbye.